prize to our winner. So, congratulations po. Again, meron po ulit tayo na tomorrow. So, I hope guys, you listen talaga sa ating resource speaker. Ayan, Ma'am Bell will hand over your prize. So, may I request the winners to please proceed here in front. Congratulations. You will receive blue bags from our generous host of this event, the procurement office of DepEd Region 5, SDO Camarines Sur. Congratulations po. Congratulations.
Second district po, from the Jose Arzuela. Irish po.
Congratulations, ma'am. Kayo po, ma'am.
I'm Shani Dopalero from Bato National High School, East Congressional District. I'm Monique Paino from 4th Congressional District, Bahit National High School.
Ayan. So, bukas po bago na po yung ibang congressional district. So, for now, congratulations po to our winners. Extended po ang women's month. Okay, puro babae. Ayan. So, again, thank you so much guys for participating to our activity. Again, bago ulit tayo bukas. So, all questions po that will be raised to our tomorrow.
Nakalaw ko si Ma'am James.
will be based on the discussion
Nakalaw ko si Ma'am James. Nakalaw na po.
today. Yan, so yan po. I think ready na po tayo sa ating discussion. Tama po ba? Handa na po
ako.
So with that, let me introduce our resource speaker.
Yan, check lang natin. Ang ating kanto. Okay na.
Marilyn.
Ayan, so before I introduce po pala na nakalimutan ko na po, this is also important din po kasi. Also, you have to evaluate po our day group. QR code po is provided here in our screen and also the link. Yeah. This is in compliance with the requirements set by our training secretariat. So, you can snap a picture po sa ating QR code provided here and also the link.
Dahil nagkakala ko kayo.
They
Thank you so much.
didn't matches. Yung pa po, nasa ano pa lang kita.
Okay, thank you po. Now, let's proceed
Kasi pag pag
to
search
our lecture number. With that, let me introduce
kalag niya digdo.
our resource
Facebook
speaker.
lang eh. Email.
This one.
Sige. Ano ang
Microsoft
Ayan,
Teams.
sir. Po. Sige po, isa pa po. Isa pa po, sir. Proceed na po tayo dun sa Ayan. Sige po. Ayan, aware po again for this slide link. This is the same QR code and Slido code po na ginamit po natin kahapon. So, if you have the copy of the QR code na saved on your phone, much better. So, you can still visit naman po the Slido link there by Slido na po and then enter the Slido code number. Rush and across. Ayan po, medyo marami po tayo na slide. Dahil po natin siya na but ito na po, this is it. Let me now introduce our resource speaker.
Oo, sir. Nakikita ba ka dito? Nakikita ba ka sa live ko?
Alright, so
Okay na ang speaker.
ladies and gentlemen, introduce our RP this morning. Our RP is a registered mechanical engineer with a postgraduate studies in MA Engineering Technology and PhD in Development Management at Eagle University and postgraduate diploma in Geothermal Technology at the Auckland University, New Zealand. Our resource speaker held the following position at Eagle University:
Director of Internal Quality Assurance Office, Dean of the College of Engineering, Director of Information Management Office, and retired as Professor 3. Currently is a professorial lecturer at the Jesse R. Robredo Institute of Governance, Bicol University, having MPA 212 Intermediate Procurement for the Master in Public Administration, major in Public Procurement. As a GPP recognized procurement trainer since 2004, our resource speaker has attended 7 ability training programs on R8 Revolt 009 for the past 3 years, conducted 3 procurement trainings to date in 2026, 15 procurement trainings in 2025, and 97 trainings for the period of 2019 to 2024 at various government agencies. Likewise, as a senior accreditor of the Accrediting Agency of Chartered Colleges and Universities in the Philippines, our resource speaker has served as either overall coordinator, team leader, and lead accreditor in 32 accreditation survey visits in various state universities and colleges in the Philippines from 2022 to 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to our resource speaker this morning, Engineer Midel T. Aligan.
Okay, kung may presentation po niya. Ay, diretso lang. Ito na rin.
Sound check. So maraming andang sa inyo po. Sana sa mga mothers, advanced topic Mother's Day, Sunday, sa soon to be mothers, ganun din. Sa fathers, sa mothers, ganun din. Okay, so why do I invoke Happy Mother's Day? Because saying sa procurement, it's the mother who owns the money, who owns the purse, di ba? So you have to know paano nyo gagasahin. In the same way that bawat procurement dito has their own funds, so you have to know how would you spend that? How would you put it in budget for money? How would you consider proportionality? In other words, how do we spend? Because in government, what's important is for every peso spent, it goes to service. You do not save. Hindi pwede mag-save sa government because a peso save is also a peso deprived from service. Ano? Because ang iba kasi save para sa saving. That's not supposed to be. Because the budget for COE for MOE or capital outlay is supposed to be spent and to be spent wisely. Okay? So with that, we proceed with our discussions on modes of procurement. So we expect that at the end of this module, we have actually 5 modules procurement. This is the 3rd module, 4th module, I mean. So at the end of this module, we expect that we will be able to identify and understand ano ba yung different modes of procurement. Ang itong series actually will brought us to many modes of procurement. And sometimes it makes it makes our lives difficult. Time to select Mrs. Weeks. But then because of this principle of proportionality, it also provides us with opportunities, alin nga ba ang dapat, alin nga pa ang naangkop. Ano? So, and likewise, for you to be able to develop familiarity in selecting appropriate procurement method to address specific project needs. Familiarity in the sense that while we have favorite modes, sabi natin dati shopping, it doesn't end there because Article 009 requires us to fit the mode of procurement to the needs of the procurement project. Kaya it has to be put in proper context na dapat whatever mode we use, dapat angkop siya sa pangangailangan. Hindi palagi DA or say US or say negotiating procurement. So with this, we expect that tomorrow we will have a change of leaders ano yan, yung sa Q&A para at least makita natin na may nakatutunan. So for our outline, we will all be talking about these various modes of procurement, modes which actually were taken from Article 184 and the new modes under Article 009. And you have this competitive bidding, limited source bidding, direct contracting, because orders, small value procurement, and negotiating procurement, and the hiwalayan procurement at CSE. While negotiating procurement sa agency, the agency, meron siyang specific guidelines, which makes it calculate. And then we have new modes, mabago to. These are actually benchmark from international practice. So we have competitive dialogue, as we said, offer with bid matching, direct acquisition, direct sales, and new one, which is direct procurement for science, technology, and innovation. So mga bago yan. Isa-isa natin yan. Take a look at the data. Because here we actually for LGU. And what we actually see here would be the gap between the various procurement opportunities as posted sa PGFs versus actual award contracts. And there's a wide gap between these. Ang dami natin niya post, kakunti lang yung ang may award. And actually, it actually tells us that there's something wrong with the way many procurement entities do their procurement.
Para magpindot siya. Ngayon ba?
And these disparities actually caused by this. We have this bidding failure by stage, where it fails, the evaluation pa lang, fail na. Post-qualification, meron nag-fail. Opening of bids, mas marami nag-fail. Meron din no bid submitted, no bidders qualified. Something was wrong with the way we conducted the procurement. And of course, causes of delay and failure, why it failed. Dalawa yan. Where it failed, why it failed. First is lack of manpower. Kakunti ang marunong. We had 2 decades of procurement trainings, but then hindi namin alam kung karoon ng epekto ito. There was no improvement. And then glad that today we have so many participants. Ay dun sa, ilan ba yung nasa online? Ilan yung nasa online natin? Okay, greetings to the online, to those who are online. Okay. So, balikan natin to, why it failed, lack of manpower, kaya nga yung GPT is also conducting a massive training for today for this law, RFM 009. To properly equip you and arm you, kasi we understand maraming noon, under 1984, maraming dinesignate, hindi naman nagkandak ng training. Hindi naman sila nakakang training. And that's precisely why we have these failures. Then we also have this approval review process, procurement that is specific yan, kung minsan matagal yung proseso. And then we have poor planning, sabi kahapon, 50% of failures was due to poor planning. Napakarami na ilan, specifications, ABC, and so on. And low number of bidders. Kukunti. Kunti. So in other words, parang may kulang tayo. And Article 009 actually would like to address that. Kailangan tayo market scoping to ensure that goods are available, bidders are, suppliers are available. If not, then we can procure. So, we try to link strategic procurement planning as isa kahapon. Bakit meron ganun? Bakit strategic? Kasi meron tayong various strategies which you can combine in order to address your needs, specific needs, and then try to adapt, try to select a fit for purpose approach. Ano yung fit for purpose approach na sinasabi natin? Ito yung mode of procurement na kailangan natin, which we'll be discussing the whole day. Marami sila, no? So in fact, you have to fit in one of those modes in your various, in your different procurements. Such that to be able to deliver public service. So importante yun, no? Sabi natin sa procurement paradigm, Philippine public procurement is satisfying the needs of the end user. And then, you satisfy the need. Kung ano dapat yung bilhin ng tama. Kaya, if we try to go back dun sa rights natin, we don't just buy. You have to buy the right at the right quality, at the right price, from the right supplier, at the right time to deliver at the right place, at the right quantity. And all of that, dapat makita natin dito yan. Ano? Strategic procurement planning plus fit for purpose approach for you to be able to deliver public service. Or in other words, for you to be able to attain your TRAs or MFOs, and whatever your strategic plans, how strategic plans are. Remember, DepEd has its own vision. May vision ng DepEd. So you go back to that vision, move down to your specific schools, ano nga bang dapat gagawin as part of the DepEd family, and from that type up with what you need to buy.
Okay na po.
Okay. Because combine the term budgets into tangible results can generally do community lives. And in your case, it's based on budgets. So,
I search na daw ang discourage yung
modes reflect the flexibility of adapting a people focused approach. Ano ito ang seriously remember, it always emphasizes this flexibility of
May hindi daw kasi nakaka-access sa link daw, ma'am.
Ano ba yung fit for purpose sa approach sabi natin? I-akma natin sa ating pangangailangan. So, if you try to take a look at this, any of these modes can address your needs. Ano ito ang seriously actually have as new modes.
Pwedeng pa sir.
Ito yung
Pwede na
meron tayo ganyan new, direct procurement, and then direct acquisition, mga bago yan. We already also have the old direct contracting, small value, and repeat order. Yung nasa pula, yung nakapula. All of these are competitive in nature. And then, no,
Send mo kung link, i-forward ko
minsan yung competitive bidding, by default, coming from zero, 1984 yan. Pero sa ngayon, hindi rin sa default, meron sa mga laman, sabi natin. We have limited source bidding, andyan na natin siya, but we have two new modes, competitive dialogue and unsolicited offer with bid logic. Actually sa PPP, public partnership.
Maluya lang.
The rights of international practice. Then we have direct sales, pero din, at yung sabi natin, pokopain natin. And of course, we have negotiated procurement. So, negotiated procurement, marami pa rin siya. So, without trying to take a look at all of these, there are some modes which you can use for any of the acquisition for goods, infra, or consulting services. So property margin, you have this applicability matrix. But we also have others na sa goods na siya. Direct contracting, acquisition, direct sales, direct procurement, or science technology. Hindi po pwede sila sa infra, hindi po pwede sa consulting.
Ano? Oh, bakit?
Then you also have repeat order for goods, small value procurement, sapat na siya. Goods in price, more sorting. Procurement of
Dahil lang sir.
Pin-off siya from participation
Sir,
of the new
Doble man kaya.
Before it starts, one to tool yung applies to the community utilization. So, nag-speak na natin, because it's not already mentioned.
Sir, baka may sa check ko na.
Oo, di pa.
Walang pinagbago dyan. Tanggal lang dyan is all valid procurement. Medyo nagkakaroon siya ng degradation.
Pero ito, narinig din kasi tayo.
High technical performance, defense operation, lease of real property, non-government organizations. With participation, UN agencies, direct retail, but you have a human. Negotiated procurement, these, parcel list,
Tapos,
kaya lang, specific siya for international events, conferences, activities hosted by the
paano kasi nakashare yung so 158 slots pa.
Dito meron siya, pero medyo high.
Dapat nasa lobby siya.
Specific na
Dapat naka-waiting in the lobby.
Mambel.
Ha? Then you building, gathering mo lang yung
Si Mambel. Ano?
Tay, sige na. Dapat ayan. Chat mo daw po next.
But one thing ko na about sila na tinanggal na, meron tayo na yung sinasabi na delegation. Kung sa ano na ito 184, may pit kung sinong gagawa. Most always the busy the ones to do. Ngayon,
Sige.
but may delegate na kanan ng procurement activities for most of the procurement
Narinig talaga yung ano natin.
So, with all those,
Sa registration, ang maximum lang.
Ako naman yung competitive limited source bidding, unsolicited offer bid matching, and competitive time. Except for that, uh, 3 degrees of relationship. Ano? So simply put, ano nangyari? This simply means na if we have this, sabihin natin ito yung bidder, yung nakapula. Ano? So bidder, supplier, dapat itong nasa labas na to, ano, let's assume that to be part of the procuring entity. Ha? So how do you count the degree of relationship? So sabihin natin, the bidder sa parents, that's the first. Bidder to the siblings, kapatid niya, that's the second. Bidder to his nephew or niece, that's the third. So any of these, ano, should not be the a procuring entity's relationship with the bidder. Or conversely, sabihin natin, balik rin natin, ano, na any of these within the third degree should not be bidders sa procuring entity. Ganun lang kasimple yan, no? It work both ways. Ito sa consanguinity, itong affinity sa asawa. In other words, doon sa asawa, sa spouse niya, and then dito sa child, and then yung mga adopted, and then sa grandchild, sa adopted, first degree yan, yung sa grandchild, second degree, yung sa siblings, second degree, parents-in-law, ganyan. That's a simple explanation na dapat walang relationship yung bidder sa supplier, the bidder sa procuring entity within the 3 degrees. Yung 4th degree, pwede na yun. Kaya lang may bill ngayon na expanding that to 4th degree. Okay. So, let's just give an example. Ito yung sa San Rafael City Government wanting to procure 3 million. Ang bidder, Tech One Solutions, owned by Mr. Cruz. Back Secretariat member is Ms. Gomez. Kaya lang, Ms. Gomez is Mr. Cruz's niece. Ano yung niece? Within the 3rd degree. Di ba? Pamangkin. In other words, from you have this uncle or aunt to nephew or niece, 3rd civil degree. In other words, they fall within the prohibited up to 3rd degree. So Tech One Solutions is disqualified. That's the simplest explanation. And every omnibus zone statement has that declaration na wala siya doon sa within the 3rd degree. So there's a disclosure of relationship. Arithur Sirson introduced another concept na I think you still remember yung definition kahapon. What is a beneficial owner? Who is a beneficial owner? And the recent Senate hearings actually told us this fact, that there were several contracting firms who are bidding with each other, but ultimately there's only one owner. So, yung owner ng maraming kumpanyang nakikipag-outbid with each other is only one. Isa lang. Yung sa flood control yun. I think I know, you know who I'm talking about. So, ganun siya kasimple. Or it might also be that dito naman sa, if there would be, say, kung ito yung company D, na who would be bidding, and then you have person A and company C. Kaya ng company C is owned by person B. The beneficial ownership concept tells us that while person A exercises her ownership directly, person B exercises ownership through company C, and both of these has this. So it's the other concept of beneficial ownership tells us also that the beneficial owner is always a person. Hindi siya pwedeng kumpanya. Hindi siya juridical. Okay. Dapat natural person siya. Kasi maraming ngayon na mga dummy corporations, mga shell companies na pinuput up, but when you try to trace up, sino nga bang beneficial owner? Nakita natin, meron talagang lumalabas. And siguro sa impeachment kayo makita natin, sino-sino mga yon. Marami lalabas dyan. And that's also the flood control will also tell us, sino-sino nga ba doon? Because pretty soon, GPPB through the PhilJeps will come up with the list of who the real beneficial owners are. Nakita natin doon. Kasi ngayon, di mo makita siya. Sinubit na documents, di mo makita yon. Not unless you try to dig that up. Okay, let's take a look at this. Sa karamihan ng modes of procurement, ano nga ba talagang dapat? Which is which? So GPPB Resolution 12/2025 came up with this. It approved the procurement mode selection decision 3 under section 6 of RA 12009. So, ganyan ang lalabas niyan. And then you have this, a decision tree for modes of procurement. It's actually a tool. You can use the online tool, or you can use actually the PDF form, ano? But yung PDF form medyo magulo, ano? Mahirap i-trace siya kasi para siyang sanga-sanga, ano? But if you try to take a look at yung online, ano, mas madali siya because it actually provides you with a parang a go no go situation, ano? So it provides you the situation and then you try to click the appropriate answer. So these three actually tell you would recommend the mode of procurement most fit based on the complexity of the procurement project. It would ask you how complex would that be, approved budget for the contract, results of market scoping, and other key considerations. However, since recommendatory pa lang to, the procuring entity remains accountable for their decisions and are encouraged to use the tool together with the other appropriate methods to validate the identified conditions. So it's a guide. It does not automatically determine the procurement mode. You have to validate the conditions, ensure proportionality, apply accountability, and document the justification. So when you try to take a look at the decision tree, yan yung opening niya, no? Let me just show you. Nakakonect sa internet. So, yun ang lumalabas yan, no? Online actually ito. You just have to click that and then it will actually lead you, it provides you with the conditions which you actually have to answer. So, guided by those, it will actually recommend you to a particular mode of procurement. Sige, tanggalin mo na. Balik ka dun. So, the tool asks, what are you procuring? So you have to select the goods infra or consulting. How complex is it? Kasi kung complex siya, mixed siya actually, goods or infra. Is it urgent? Otherwise, it would give you to a default negotiated procurement emergency case. Is it available off the shelf? It will lead you to another. Are there many suppliers? Is it innovative or specialized? What is the ABC? And each answer leads to a suggested mode. So that's actually the initial help, your initial step. So for example, if you would be buying laptops which are readily available, sequential actually yung sagot dyan, then off the shelf, any suppliers, no complexity, the decision tree would actually recommend either direct acquisition, small value procurement. Mabilisan siya. And sino gagamit dapat ito? When back evaluates the final mode of procurement, as it prepares its APP, kasi it's back who actually finalizes through the back secretariat the mode of procurement, he may actually use this. Or when you finally buy, once the PRR issued, you have the final market scoping, a more realistic market scoping, then you can actually refer this, go back to this as a basic reference, initial reference. So let's go, having done that decision tree as your guide, initial guide, let's go direct to these various modes of procurement. Sabi natin, many modes were retained under the new Government Procurement Act. And this consists of this. So carried over from RA number 9184, we have this competitive bidding, but it's no longer the direct, the default mode. We also have direct contracting, ano. There were also those which were expanded under RA 12009. In other words, from its initial set of requirements or conditions within which you can use that, there were added conditions, ano, enhancements. Ano. So this we have this limited source bidding, small value procurement, specifically on the increase of threshold from 1 million to 2 million. So medyo tumaas na siya, no? Nadoble siya. And then we have negotiated procurement. So there were enhanced guidelines for various negotiated procurement modes. Ano? And then we have this new negotiated procurement on Sagip-Saka. Ano? Likewise, negotiated procurement, international events, conferences, summits, or activities hosted by the Philippine government. Ano? There were new modes under RA 12009. Ano, we have this direct acquisition, unsolicited offer, direct sales, competitive dialogue, direct procurement for science technology. Yan. So, ito yung lahat yung modes of procurement natin. Ano? Isa-isa natin yan. So, we have the whole day, and I just hope that at the end of the day, you don't have an information overload on what mode to use. Ano? Pero kung nahihilo kayo, balikan niyo yung decision tree. Mas madali actually siya. Okay. So, ano yung role ng BAC? Remember, babalikan ulit natin ito. Anong pakialam ng mode of procurement sa BAC? So for purposes of transparency, efficiency, and competitiveness, procurement entities may guide prospective bidders in understanding and accomplishing the necessary documents. BAC has a proactive role in the conduct of pre-bid conferences. In other words, sa competitive bidding, ano, or any competitive modes, kasi dapat actually siya, ano, BAC actually plays an active role. Ano? So, ito yung dapat maintindihan ng BAC na hindi dapat ibibigay lang yung responsibility sa bidders to understand what the procurement is all about, but it has to explain. Ano? Because dito, importante ng BAC, ano, not just manages, but should have a proactive role in this. So, we will try to discuss competitive bidding first. Ano? Mahaba siya because dito maraming nabago which you also have to understand. Ano? So, walang binago sa proseso niya. You still have this pre-procurement conference, publication, pre-bid conference, submission and receipt of bids, bid opening, evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and subsequent award. But along the process, may mga nabago dyan, ano? Okay. But first, you have to understand that sa competitive bidding, may pinalabas na GPP resolution, ano, approving the mandatory forms for procurement. And when you are in competitive bidding mode, these are the mandatory forms that you have to make use of. Ano? You have strategic planning forms, balikan natin uli yung PPMP, ano? Yung APP, dapat the basis would now be the final APP. Kailan nyo na-finalize yan? Ano? During the first 2 weeks of January, dapat na-finalize siya when the GAA has been approved. Ano? Importante yan. Because without your item reflected sa final APP, approved final APP, hindi ka pwedeng bumili. No APP, no procurement. Yun ang basic dyan. Ano? Likewise, you have this market scoping form which is attached to every PPMP. Mandatory market scoping form. Ano? Sometimes there's a need to renew or to revisit your market scoping form once the final APP has been approved before you issue your PR. Okay? And of course, you have your project procurement management plan. Ano? I do hope that the market scoping and PPMP videos were shown to you kahapon, ano, for you to be able to understand how do you conduct the market scoping, ano, and then how do you apply that, how should you fill up the PPMP, corresponding to the market scoping form. Mamaya, sa lunch, we will show the APP video, which actually ties up the APP with some of the modes of procurement. Okay. For the Philippine bidding document related forms, mandatory actually siya, for transparency and standardized procurement, kasi we noted na for all the years, GBP BTSO has recommended forms, kaya lang it left the discretion to use or to customize this was left to the procure entities. So medyo iba-iba. Kaya kung minsan yung suppliers nalilito, one supplier has this form, one entity has this form, another has this form. So which is which talaga. So R12009, dapat lahat under competitive bidding, pare-pares dapat ang gagamitin. So you have this Philippine Bidding Documents for Goods, first edition, May 2025. The same is true with Infront Consulting. The Philippine Bidding Documents, first edition, makapal siya because it incorporated the new provisions of RA 12009. Compared with the 6th edition ng PBD under RA 1984, manipis yun. But yung bagong PBD, makapal. For the suppliers and bidders to fully understand what is it in RA 12009. So in other words, parang yung IRR nun, related sa competitive bidding, pinasok sa Philippine Bidding Documents. Likewise, you have the bid form for all bid documents are accompanied by a bid form, corresponding bid form, wala sa 1984. Likewise, bid security declaration, revised na rin siya. Contract form, contribution statement, performance security declaration form, price schedules for goods from abroad and from within the Philippines. So, kung competitive bidding ang gagamitin yung mode, you have to use these mandatory forms. Hindi ka pwede mag-invent ng sarili ng form. Okay. So, what is it in the competitive bidding? We actually have this, what is in the bid forms. So, if you try to take a look dun sa bidding documents, yung PBD, Philippine Bidding Documents First Edition, we have this data information which are shown. Approved budget for the contract, invitation to bid or request for expression of interest kung consulting, instructions to bidders, and take note of this. Kahapon, you were already introduced into the new awards criteria of MERB and MARB. Diba? Meron na kayo. But it doesn't end there because sa bid documents, dapat makita dito, ano nga ba yung weights assigned to each criterion and the quality price ratio if awarded to the most economically advantageous and responsive bid or highest rated and responsive bid, as well as date, time, place of pre-bid conferences where applicable. Likewise, the technical specifications, terms of reference or scope of work, eligibility requirements, and take note of this, may bago po doon. Environmental specifications in relation to Section 73. In other words, a sustainable, it actually is an enhancement because RA 12009 actually has some more environmental considerations. We speak of sustainable procurement. Bottom line yan is environment. Okay. Then we have plans or drawings, bid form, deliver time, form and amount of bid. Dati na actually siya. Form and amount of performance, form of contract, and another new requirement sa bid documents. We have these additional documentary requirements or specifications necessary to complete the information required for the bidders to prepare and submit the respective bids. In other words, ito yung if you have a specific type of procurement which requires licenses, permits, these have to be specifically be included, be reflected in your bid documents. Otherwise, you can't require this from suppliers during post-qualification. Okay. Same as in RA 1984, we have this requirement for access to information that in all stages of the preparation of bidding documents, PE shall ensure equal access to information, except for those involving national security. And let me highlight this. Only officials authorized to handle procurement documents are BAC chair, BAC members, BAC secretariat, TWG, and user. Outside of this circle, outside of this 5, it is actually prohibited. No from the procuring entity is allowed to handle this. Otherwise, you might be subject to sanctions or penalties. Ano? Okay. We try to compare RA 9184 with 12009, ano? During the pre-procurement conference. Ano nga ba yung pagkakaiba dito? Remember, yung pre-procurement conference is actually it's actually the first step sa competitive bidding process. Ano? So, for goods, pre-procurement is mandated under RA 9184 for 2 million and above. Pagdating sa 12009, umakyat siya sa 5 million. Okay. For infra, dati 5 million siya, naging 10 million siya. These are the thresholds within which you have to conduct pre-procurement conference. Consulting services, dati 1 million, naging 2 million siya. And take note that failure to conduct the prescribed pre-procurement conference within the thresholds may actually be a source of result to sanctions for the bank. Admin liabilities, administrative sanctions. Mandatory. Let me just give you this. This is actually a case in point, an audit observation where an LGU failed to conduct a pre-procurement conference before bidding for the 10 million. Dati, take note, dati ilan to? 2 million lang to. 10 million siya. So sabi nila, because the law mandates a pre-procurement conference within the threshold. Kaya it so happened that during the audit, there were no records or minutes of any procurement conference, implying lack of due diligence before bidding. Mandatory actually siya. Okay? Likewise, during the procurement conference, you have to finalize, you have to decide, ano nga ba talaga ang award criteria natin? How do we award this? Sa 9184, walang problema siya kasi by default, it's lowest calculated and responsive bid for goods or infra, or highest rated and responsive bid for consulting services. But under RA 12009, because we have this value for money approach, we have this inclusion of most economically advantageous and responsive bid or most advantageous and responsive bid. So you actually now have, for goods and infra, you actually have these 3 award criteria within which to choose. Depende siya sa nature of the project. For consulting services, isa lang siya highest rated and responsive bid. But of course, dito sa highest rated and responsive bid, you have 2 evaluation criteria pa rin. Pero hindi siya award criteria. You have this QCBE, quality cost-based evaluation and quality-based evaluation. And for those who are familiar with the consulting services evaluation methodology, the quality cost-based evaluation is similar dito sa MERB. Yung quality-based evaluation is similar dito sa most advantageous and responsive bid. So yun ang similarity doon. So during the pre-procurement conference, BAC should resolve whether to use, ano nga bang criteria dapat niyong gawin? Ang gagamitin, LCRB, MERB, MARB, Because for lowest calculated and responsive bid as a criteria, you can only use this when you try to consider the eligibility of the bidder, responsiveness of the bid to technical requirements, and lowest financial bid. In other words, price, financial. Kasi lowest calculated. So it's quality, it's price actually ang determinant. However, for the most economically advantageous and responsive bid or MERV, aside from the eligibility of the bidder, you have the responsiveness of bid to technical requirements, and you have this determination of the most economically advantageous bid in reference to the quality price ratio allocated for technical and financial components. In other words, under this, you have a set of criteria where you allocate points and based on a combined scoring of quality and price. Whoever has the highest is given as considered as the most economical and advantageous and responsive bid. So it might also be that it might happen that the higher quality plus lower price would actually higher quality plus high price would actually win over a high quality and low price. Ano? No. High quality, low price, high quality, high price. You go for the ano nga ba yung sa MERB? Depende sa MERB yan. Ano? So price is not only the determinant, but it's only one because you have the quality price factors. Ano? So if you try to take a look at this, ano, BAC defines the weights and scoring formulas and bidding documents. How do you, what are the weights?